Thank you so much. I'd first like to thank everyone else for making it today. So I'm very, very excited about today's session. So we have a really exciting guest speaker. So, but before I can introduce to you our guest speaker, let me just get a brief of where are you guys joining from. Please do let me know in the chats. Where are you guys coming from? I see a few people have already started off. That's great. Thank you so much to everyone. Welcome, welcome. I see people coming from Fosloras, Nozipo from Express, Anna Bluespec. Thank you so much for joining. Bianca coming from Pretoria. You're welcome, Bianca. Palisa also from Pretoria. Kutlano is from Gauteng. You're welcome. Oh, okay. We also have Zanele coming all the way from Cape Town. Hi, Zanele. Musuwani from Johannesburg. Frederica from Solendam in Western Cape. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Riranzu also coming from Pretoria. Kensani from Avenue Theme Park in Rustenburg. Thank you so much for joining. Akumile also from Cape Town. Bonto from Pretoria. Sbonelo coming all the way from KZN. Thank you so much for joining. Lutendo from Jamestown. Thank you so much. Innocentia also coming from KZN in DTDC. You're welcome. All right. I also see you, Maxine Peterson, together with CN, Chris, Cleveland, Tabang, all the way from Pretoria. Thank you so much for joining. All right. And then we have Reinfeld from Binoni, Matapelo from Sebokeng. Welcome, everyone. Zanele coming from Johannesburg, Alungile with Anita and Anati from Belleville in Cape Town. Thank you so much for joining. Janice, I see you from Statahem. Ndivu from Tembisa. Hi, Ndivu. Thank you so much for joining. Kolisa, I also see you from Welcome. Zikona from East London. Thank you so much. Minentle from KZN, you're welcome, Minentle. Sure, there's quite a lot of you. I see you, Kunjulwa, Siposonke, and Tlaganipo from KZN. In Renew It Mhlanga, you're welcome. Obey also from Pretoria. Thank you so much for joining. Mfano Futi from Alex. Gina from Johannesburg in Hillbrow. All right, thank you. Tebucho from Davidson. You're welcome, Tebucho. Nogubonga from East London. Thanks for joining us, Nogubonga. Akonto from East London, as well as Sitribo from Johannesburg. All right. Or Rosie from Limpopo. Thank you for joining, Rosie. Sanil Siwe, we see you. Yanga coming from Johannesburg. Welcome, Yanga. Busisiwe from MES in Johannesburg. Welcome. Mobile also from Durban. Welcome. Oh, okay. Sophie from Soweto. Victor from Sebokeng. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Crenshaw also from Youth at Work and Lilette. Thank you for joining, guys. Rosina coming from Limpopo, and then there's Palisa all the way from Johannesburg. Njabulo also from Gauteng. You're welcome. All right, and then Mumisa from Statenham and Melta from KZN. All right, so I'd first like to introduce myself. It's Dineo here. I will be your co-host for today. Hi, Erica. Thanks for joining and jumping in. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. It's fantastic to see you all online. Thanks to Neil for setting us all up. And I'm so excited to see Stataheim and Soweto and everybody. Welcome from the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Gauteng, all around. We're super, super excited about the session. So we really know that you're going to learn a lot. You're going to engage. Hope you've got your pen and papers ready, or you're going to just listen and focus, because there's going to be lots and lots of takeaways. Maybe let's just put in the chat. What are you expecting? What are you expecting from the session? Limpopo is also there. Thanks to Nico. So what are you expecting from the session? Let's just see. KZN is there, Western Cape is there. What are you expecting? And is our guest speaker here already? How long are we? It's 5 minutes past. I think we mustn't go too long. Dineo, I think if you are, who is introducing the guest speaker, and then let's roll.
All right.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. So we do have TJ Ledwaba online. So just a brief overview of who TJ is, right? So TJ is a CEO from Bright Path Consultants. All right, so he is a chartered accountant, a tax practitioner, a business coach, as well as a financial system analyst, all right? So he is indeed an accomplished chartered accountant with 10 years post-article experience, academic, as well as a business leader, all right? He's also a pastor and also a motivational speaker, all right? So today he will be speaking about navigating your future. So we really, really can't wait to hear it from TJ to give us insightful information of how we can navigate to our own future as young people. Welcome, TJ. You can unmute, TJ.
There we go. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
TJ, can you maybe move a little bit out of the window? We can't see you properly because of the glare in the back.
You cannot see me.
You must change a little bit with that glare in the back is taking our view away from you.
I'm going to try something. Let me just move to the next office. Hope it works. Can you see me now?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dineo, and Youth at Work for having me. I'm very much excited to sort of share a few things with you guys, and I'm also encouraged by the variety of the group that we have, people from Soweto, Limpopo, and Cape Town. And thanks for the nice intro, Dineo. I'm not all that perfect, so there's other best stuff that I've done in my life, which I don't include there.
Okay.
Yeah, but basically, I'm a combination of a township and rural brought up young professional. I did most of my high school in the township areas. So I just want to briefly add to the introduction before we move into the actual session for today.
Okay.
I'm from Limpopo, spent a few years in Johannesburg. Of course, I did matriculate in Soweto, in Prudence High. Then I went on to do my undergraduate with UNISA. That time I was staying in Tembisa. Then I moved to Pretoria to do my articles. Then later I came to Cape Town looking for work. And then that ended up into me starting up my own accounting practice, as I was already introduced as the chartered accountant. So I think we have about 251 people joined in now. And as I understand, Youth at Work deals a lot with young people. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to the future, and hence I chose the topic to say, how do we navigate the future as the young people? How do we, lend into tomorrow? How do we change today's problems? How do we take the opportunities that come, and also really getting out of all these challenges that we face as young people? I think especially the young professionals and the young Black people. We come, most of us, from broken families. We come, most of us, from, bad backgrounds. And there has been changes nationally, around student funding, around education. Some of us, we managed to get those opportunities because of those changes. But I still believe that there's more that we can tap into globally. There's more that we can tap into academically. There's more that we can tap into, in the entrepreneurial space. where you have got all these institutions that were developed by governments to assist young people. And I think Youth at Work is one of them, where almost every company is able now to recruit young people and give them a chance. So we are living in a world that is full of opportunities. There's a pool of opportunities around us. And the question is, how do we navigate into those opportunities? And I mean, we're not going to like the same things as young people. Some might, prefer to work. Some might prefer to start their own businesses. Some might prefer to go overseas. So thank you so much for the opportunity. That was just my brief opening. I'm just going to open up my company profile just to give you a rough overview of what I deal with. I always say that if my mom was to ask me, what do I do for a living, I'll not be able to answer that question because, and that's the beauty of the right career choice, because my career choice is not limiting me. I don't do the same thing every day. So it's exciting in a sense that it provides me with an opportunity, to be an accountant, to be a tax practitioner, to be a business advisor, to be a mentor, to be a business coach, to be a cost management accountant. So at least is a broad type of a career. But let me just open our company profile. I'll try to share the screen on my site just to take you through a quick overview. Yes, can you see the screen on my side?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Great stuff. Yeah. Great stuff. Great stuff. So yes, the name of the company that I'm currently running is called Bright Path Business Consultants. Yes, they can. Co-founded with my friend. Thank you. Founded this company from scratch with my other friend. So previously,
sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Can't see your screen. I don't know whether it's the network or what.
Okay, let me stop the video on my side. Can you see the screen now? It says you are screen sharing.
We can see you.
We can see it.
My video.
Guys, if you have any queries, please make use of the chat box.
Okay, Daniel, can you see the screen on your side?
Yes, I'm able to see it, TJ.
All right, great stuff. I'm just moving to page 2. This is just some of the services that we provide. Guys, I think an accounting business is found in almost every town. And I won't go into detail into what we do, but this is just the services that we specialize in. And then at the top there, that's just my other business partner. And then the company was formed just to provide accounting and tax service and payroll. We still 100% Black owned at level 1 of the BE status. And the whole idea or the reason why this company was formed, it was based out of a need to help small business owners and entrepreneurs. And I was already doing that when I was working. So I'll get calls from people that say, look, we know you're an accountant, can you solve X, Y, Z for us? And I will not have time because the boss, was on my case. I was working somewhere else, or I'll be late at work. And I think that's when I understood that I've got a calling to leave the place where I was and start something that I will enjoy doing, and that will be more meaningful, not only to myself, but to the next person. Hence, it was established. We have since formed collaborations with other bright young individuals across the world just to build a strong capacity. But apart from these guys that are already well trained and skilled, we also have a pool of interns. And I think in future, we'll also be looking at Youth at Work to get more young people from there for training. because we are expanding. We are expanding in our regions and all that. I'm not going to go into detail. The whole purpose of this was just to just give you a quick picture of some of the services and the things that I do on a daily life. Some of us were lucky. I think I was lucky to go to a career exhibition in grade 10, where I was introduced to this career of chartered accountancy. And at that time, I think I was just after the money because I came from a poor family, and all that was in my head was, how do I now move from being poor and being well off in life? And when the lady that day presented the careers, the most rewarding, the high-paying career at that time, when they presented it, it was chartered accountant. I did not even know what it entailed. I just knew that I was good in accounting and maths, and I went for it. But there's a whole lot of things that it provided later on. So I'm still grateful for that opportunity. And then I'm going to jump now into the gist of the presentation, navigating the future. And I think if you are young, you have that responsibility, because you have lived a few years on earth and you still have a number of years that you still have to live, a lot of problems that you still have to solve, just simply because you are young. And we also face and stand a risk of suffering the consequences that, bad decisions that will be made by the government or that we're going to make ourselves, changes that are going to happen in the technological world, climate change, and all those things. We are going to be stuck in that space for a long time. So we are going to be stuck in the future for the most of our life. So how do we navigate into that? Was just what I wanted us to tap into. And, also taking into how did I move out of a 2-room house into a shack, into, owning my company, into owning my house, into having my own family, and balancing all these things. All right. So I think this will take your attention. This will grab your attention a bit. So I think this has been all over the news. Thabo Bester has been all over the news. I think Nandi was applying for bail today in Bloemfontein, but there's people that went and looked at what can we learn from these things. And I think there's 2 things I would just want us to learn from the case as we move on. The first one is that there's no shortcuts in life. I know we might be desperate, we might be poor, but I've realized, I've learned in life that the only way to make it in life, if you want to build something sustainable, something that is a legacy for the next generation, I think we just need to be ethical in what we do, check our code of conduct, and behave very well. There's people that are going to be fired at work, not because of the lack of qualification or productivity, but just because they have lacked the basic ethical values. And these are mostly compromised when issues like pressure, present itself, issues like desperation and opportunity to not be ethical. We often think that no one sees me, no one will catch me. And apart from Thabo Bester, there's other scandals that you can find, online. Scandals around bookkeepers that pay themselves, from the banks, IT guys that do dodgy deals, tax evasion deals. So the quickest way to your grave is a shortcut in life. And that talks to young people that are ethical, young people that are well behaved, that are building for the next generation. What I mean by that, even the bridge that you're driving on at any highway might be because of the previous generation that did not mess up the funds, but build a bridge that will be used by the next generation. So that's the first part that I personally took from the case, to say, I think I need to conduct myself in a manner that I will not compromise the next generation. So it's not only living for today, living for tomorrow, but it's building something, that will remain intact for the future generation. Be it your career, be it your business, You can build a tower for 20 years and lose it in one day, just because you have not built it on an ethical foundation. We all want to be rich. We all want to be millionaires. The Bitcoin guys have come into the picture, make money now, quick schemes. I'm not a believer of that. I'm a believer of really putting in my time, putting in my skill, waiting for my chance, which I'm very sure that it will come. It's been 10 years working, and every day I wake up. I wake up every day in the morning. I'm in the office. I leave late in the office. And month end, I get the paycheck that I've earned, not that I have done some dodgy deals to get them. All right. So that was just the first part, around the Thabo Bester's case. The second part, someone saw him presenting a nice business meeting while he was in prison, and that person took it positively to say, if this guy can conduct a business meeting in a jail, chained hands, chained feet, how much can I do when I am free? And I think that's the question that we need to ponder on, to say, are we operating at our best level? You might be at school. Some of you guys, you are working in your internship, but is that your best level? Can I work and study at the same time? Can I work and study and run a business at the same time? So I think that called for a need for us to stretch ourselves to our limits, to stretch ourselves, to test our capacity, and really drain out what we can provide. You know what I mean? At the moment, I think I'm trying to run 3 businesses at the same time. It's not easy, but I'm just happy that I'm stretching myself. They might not all be profitable, but we need to stretch ourselves. Yes, there's someone raising their hand. I'm just going to go to the next slide. All right, and Zanele as well is raising the hand. I'm not sure if I should take the questions now or wait until we get to the end. Tineo, an advice.
Maybe we can wait until the end and take question and answers.
All right, great stuff. Okay, I'll try to be done in the next few minutes and just not to take forever, so that it becomes that. Just a summary of the next slide is just showing the problems, some of the problems that we're facing as a nation. We've got a higher rate of unemployment. What is not included here, almost every 6 months, the interest has been hiking. So many people are in debt. We're not that strong when it comes to our currency and all those things. And if we operate in a level where we understand our issues, if you're coming from a family that is poor, when you get to school, your behavior is different because you know what problem you left at home. So some of our problems like unemployment are not going to be solved by you going to school and you getting a job, but they're going to be solved by you going to school and opening a company that will have a branch in every province. And that way you can proudly say that you have employed at least 200 people as a young person. All right. And I don't think it's a matter of age. It's a matter of really having that dream and having that goal to solve one of these problems as a nation. So the flip side of this is an opportunity. Because we have a problem, then I know that there are opportunities around these issues. If we've got a problem on electricity, then there's an opportunity on renewable energy. There's an opportunity on alternative energy sources, all right? So as I think these problems, they affect us as a community, and it should be part of our daily discussions as the youth to say, how do we address this? Is my career going to address this? Is what I'm busy with now relevant to what we're facing? All right. And I promise you, most of the successful people that we know of today, be it celebrities or everything, they're solving these problems. And because they've solved the problem, they become they still earn royalties based on the systems they've developed, based on the apps, the products that they brought into the industry and into the economy. It was a basic thing of saying, what problem can I solve as a young person? Is it drugs? Is it gender-based violence? Is it poverty? Is it corruption? And I believe if any of us can go to the government with a corruption solving tool, that will be an opportunity for that person. All right. So this calls us to not ignore our surroundings and to not think that is someone's problem. This is our problem. I'm equally responsible to make a difference, to contribute as a citizen and as a young person, and in the space that I operate in. All right. And the flip side of it, again, if you don't contribute, you're either not doing anything at all, or you're part of this problem. You're the reason why these problems are increasing, crime as well. Okay. I think we're all familiar with this face, DJ Sbu. We've seen him in the music industry. We've seen him trying to sell more fire. We've seen him recently trying to sell properties. And again, if a man can do that much and I'm sitting here doing nothing, how do I feel? And if you want to say, it's TJ Ledwaba, I mean, you check his history, Tembisa boy, Gasi boy, and we're going to not have any excuse as young people. So there's inspiration around us. The sky is the limit. I mean, music industry, I might have said, maybe it's because the guy's talented naturally, but yet he went, just started selling more fire on the robot. With a big network marketing or distribution plan in place. But we cannot take it away from him. We cannot take the credit away from him. He has worked. And again, there's no shortcut. It takes hard work. It takes believing in yourself, taking critics. And the believing in yourself part is very critical because, like I said, of the backgrounds that we come from. We come from a background where you don't believe that you're going to pass. You don't believe you're going to make, you don't believe that you can own a company because of the background. But we've got these guys in the spotlight, to prove to us that it is possible, to build on these ideas. All right. So how do we navigate the future? One of the note speakers said here, imagine for a moment, imagine for a moment your own version of a perfect future. So for a moment, pause, think about the best case scenario of how the future can look. All right. Number 2, go and see yourself in that future. Okay. Which has everything that you wish for and everything fulfilled. Then he said, spend a moment in that future, enjoy it. Okay. And then come back to the present quickly and allow that future to influence you to behave, all right, in a way that will take you to that future. Okay, or how you'll behave from this moment on. Stop, imagine the future. It's perfect future. You've got all that you need. Life is happening. Everything is working for you. Reverse, come back, and allow that future to influence you. And influence, we unfortunately, one of the damage that is caused on us as the youth is the influence around us. We influence by almost everything. But here we're calling the future that is the best possible to influence. All right. I'm going to give an example of this in practical terms. Years ago, when I was studying, I would print my best car, my dream car, and plug it on the wall. And each time I felt like giving up, I would not, because that car was waiting for me. So this is what it means in practical terms, to say, paint your best future. Some call it vision board, where you just say, this is my vision, but this is my future. And you allow that thing to influence you. And you will definitely behave differently. Okay. Today, I'm almost driving my best car. I'm not yet there, but I think the car that I'm driving is better than my first car. So that's what it means, basically. And you talk about your future. This is, one day I'm going to be an advocate. One day I'm going to stop all this nonsense of gender-based violence, okay? One day I'm going to, be in US, in Europe, representing South Africa as an ambassador. That's the future that you need to paint now. And I promise you, if you know where you're going, if you've got a direction in life, your behavior will be different today. Okay. that's the summary of this slide. So basically, if I ask you a question of where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, and your answer is you're not sure, then we have a problem. Okay, your answer should be as crystal clear as the sky or something. But we need that clarity to say, where do you see yourself? You might work at Pick and Pay today as a till packer. You might, trying to make ends meet. It's fine. It's part of getting there. But you need to at least see yourself where you're going to be in future, right? I'm just going to try and run quickly. Okay, when I started my business, this is where I started. I started at home, and this is all I had. This is all I had. I did not have any savings. I did not have any best furniture. I did not have the best laptop, best printer. This is all I had. And for me, this is all I used. Now, what I learned from that is that start where you are with what you have. I know there's people that say, I need 100,000 to start this, I need that. But I promise you, start making noise with the list that you have. You'll get somewhere in life. Currently, this is the office. Now, if you compare this current office with that, there's one employee here. I mean, I'm the employee, I'm the CEO, I'm the IT manager, I'm the marketing manager. But you now look at this, you can count the heads already in the picture. You're looking at 6 nice offices. It's a sort of second floor, in the nice area. And the story behind this is not because I had everything, but I just had the passion, I had the drive, and again, I had the future that I wanted. And everyone that I spoke to, I narrated that future. And this is where I go to. All right, that's my other office in the other hand. Then we recently also opened another office in Khayelitsha, and the whole plan here was not just for me, because I enjoyed the part of making a difference in young people. So if I can make it for the guys that are well off in best suburbs and towns, why can't I make it in the township? So we opened this one in the township, where now we'll have people working for us and not spending too much effort. That can just go and work. All right. This is the outside part of the township office the second one. But stop dreaming. I still have the future that I want to navigate into. And this is what I look at. If I look into my future, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a 5-floor office running fully fledged accounting firm. That's the future. So at no point do you stop painting that future. It continues, and you navigate into that for as long as you're still alive. Okay. Here, in summary, whatever you're doing today, be it you are acquiring the skill or music industry, you need to have a market where you're going to sell it. I think it was the Minister of Education once said some of the careers that we're doing today are not needed. They're not going to solve any problem. So whatever you're busy with has to have a market. You need to be sure that when I finish this degree, I'm going to be employed. You need to be sure that if I finish this training, this is the market that I'm going to place it in. And you need a balance, because some of the things we're just passionate about, but they don't have a market. All right. Or it's not a skill that is required. So it calls to us balancing what we're busy with and what we are doing. I was also watching, I think it was Oskido yesterday, he was talking about seeing every young person now trying to do amapiano and thinking that they will still make it. And he came out advising them to get an 8-to-5 job over and above the talent and the hustle that they are making. All right. But if there's no market, to derive an income from that, then you're still going to have problems. Right. And I also learned in life that to be passionate about something is not enough. You need the skill. I might be passionate about helping businesses, make posters and market and advertise that I want to help small businesses. But if I don't have the skill to do so, I'll not be able to help those businesses. And skill calls for investment, time investment. It took me 10 years, full 10 years, to be a chartered accountant. In that 4 years, I failed my honors 4 times. I still went back to repeat it, were times I didn't have the funding, to study. I spent all that years, went back to doing articles at BDO, 3 years, 6 months, trying to get the skill. Now, if you can get a skill where you are happy, if you can love what you are doing, if this passion can be combined with the skill, then they say every day is your holiday because you don't feel what you're doing. You don't complain about what you're doing. You're loving what you're doing and you're getting paid for it because you have the market. All right. I was listening on radio again. I think they're talking about the highest paid player. I think it was Ronaldo, if I'm not mistaken, getting 136 million euros. And I don't know how much is that in rands. But it tells you about having the skill, the right skill, and loving what you do. Because if you have the skill, you don't love it, you won't continue. When challenges knock you down, you're basically going to give up and stop. All right. I'm going to leave it there for now. We can still touch on a few things, but I would like to open that environment where we can all, tackle these questions and proceed. Thank you. Dineo?
Okay, thanks, TJ. Anyone with questions, please do raise your hands. I saw a few hands before, so this is the time now that you can get to ask your questions. Please feel free. You can also write in the chat box. Anyone who'd like to jump in with a question, please feel free.
Good afternoon.
There we go. Offenser, you've raised your hand. You can unmute.
No,
Okay, Zanele, you can proceed.
Okay, hello everybody. I heard the speaker saying that he's trying to have 3 other businesses. So for me, I'm working and I also doing an instrument. I'm still learning and also I'm into sports. So my question is, because I feel exhausted all the time and I know I'm not giving my all to any of the things that I'm doing currently. And so how can I then have that, energy to do all those things? Yeah, just so I can be best in all the 3 things that I'm doing currently, because for me, it's pretty much hard.
Awesome. Should I tackle that one or should we get more questions? I can write them down, then answer all at once.
Okay, no problem. We'll take the next one. Chimagazi, you can proceed with your question.
Supervisor.
Or Offenser, would you like to jump in? Okay, TJ, I think you can then answer Zanela's question.
Awesome. Very interesting question. Yeah, so the question is, how do you keep the fire burning? How do you remain normal in the abnormal? Yeah, I think we each have to know what works for us and how do we remain alive. You can easily be, get depressed in the process, easily discouraged when you are rejected. And yeah, there can be serious health issues as well. So we just need to know what works for us. I have things that work for me, that keep me going. One of them is the spirituality part of things. Where do I heal? Where do I connect spiritually? Because if that part is sorted out, then I can take anything in the world, be it bad or good news, right? So it's very important. Some people, drink. On Friday, they have to party very hard for them to continue on Monday. And it worked for them. It works for them. It doesn't work for me. It might not work for the next person. You mentioned the sport. Some people make sure that on weekend they don't work at all. They spend the entire weekend doing sport, and that's how the mind switches back and get re-energized. So you just need to know what works for you. Some people prefer gym. If they go to gym every morning, they can have all the energy to tackle anything in the day. So it's just important to do that introspection so that you know what works for you, what keeps you going, and not, give it enough time. Give it enough time. Yeah. Thanks. I'll just pause there on this one.
Thank you so much, TJ. Let's take another question. Redeemed, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. TJ, if I may ask, what do I need to start my own accounting firm company?
Sure. Okay. What do you need? What do you need?
Yes.
Yeah, you need of course the qualifications, which don't always have to be what I have. I mean, I took the long route. I took the CA route, then I did my articles.
Yes.
But while I was there, I spotted few guys that did not have those qualifications, that had less qualifications, but they still did what I do. Why? Because the market is the same. If your market is
Yes.
to have an accounting firm that will have small businesses, then there's other institutions. At the end of the day, in summary, in a nutshell, you just need to register with one of the professional bodies. Okay. And at that professional body, they'll tell you what information you need. So you've got SAIPA, which is South African Institute of Professional Accountants. Then you've got SAIBA, which is South African Institute of Business Accountants. Then you've got SAICA, which is South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. Then within the SAICA, you have CAs, which is Chartered Accountants. Then you have AGAs, which is General Accountants. So you just need to register with one of the professional bodies that will allow you to at least take it further and become a tax practitioner and also sign off the reports. All right. Now,
sorry.
Hello?
I'm sorry, can I please cut you? Do you need to have certain qualification? Just like one of those.
I'm losing you.
Redeemed, we lost you. We can't hear you. Can you please repeat?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear?
Yes. For me to register with SAICA, CYBA, or all of these bodies, do I need to have a certain qualification, or it is just a process of some sort?
No, you need to get some. You need to have some qualification, which is around either accounting or financial management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then in terms of training, and I mean, these things change every year. There's regulations every year. Another body is called EBA, which is Institute of Registered Auditors. In the past, you could just be a CA and become a registered auditor, but the laws change, all the time. So you might be lucky one day when you call SAIPA and they just say, look, come, register, sign here, But at least you need some qualification and some element of training. Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you so much.
Nice. Should we take the next question, TJ?
TJ, can I just ask, and I'm being rude by just coming in and interrupting, but what are the habits of successful people? I mean, what are the things that give you the energy, and what are the habits that support a healthy lifestyle, engagement, the energy that someone was speaking about? Can you maybe share that with us?
Sure. Thank you. Ah, look, I'm grateful that I don't have a backup in life. You know, I don't have, if I don't work, I don't have an uncle or a father or a mother that I can call to ask for 1,000 rand. So I think that was just one of the best gift I had in life. So whatever I had in life, be it the shoes, the socks, I knew that I had to work for it. So, you know, relying on yourself and not relying on other people is a choice that you can make. That's a habit on its own to say, you know, I'm not happy about borrowing because that means I must beg every time I borrow. You know, I want to be independent. So most successful people, you know, are independent, and that was intentional before they even became independent to say, I just don't want to bother people. You know, Dino mentioned that I'm a pastor as well, but even there, I don't want to bother Christians asking them money for my shoes. I don't enjoy doing that. So that means that I must be successful in something else in one area. The second habit is, you know, being okay with the boring, doing the boring stuff. You know, uh, there is a poem or poetry about a road less traveled by. You know, you need to have that habit whereby you are happy, you are fine. We're doing something that no one else is doing. I'll give you an example. I used to study in December when everyone was partying, and I was fine with just locking my room and studying. You know, I didn't have any problem. I'm fine with doing the boring stuff. There's people that can't stay in the office the whole day. They want to go to a mall. They want to go to a beach. I'm fine with blocking myself, sitting here the whole day from 8 to 5, reading stuff, sending out emails, making calls. So that's a habit on its own sometimes, you know, doing something that no one wants to do because you end up getting paid for that. No one wants to do compliance. They want to run companies, they want to own companies, but they hate compliance. Then I come in and do the compliance and get paid for that. All right. One of the habit, again, most successful people that I know, and that's very ironical because you know they're humble. It's humble people. They relate to anyone else regardless of how much you have or where you come from. And it's very strange. Like you, the CEO of a multinational company, but you're so humble. You know. So those characteristics of such a person, because once you are a people's person, you are humble, you are respectful, you can say thank you when you get a business deal. You can call someone that helped you 4 years ago and say thank you. You can build relationships, respect those relationships. Um, that means that you will be successful. And it has to be within you that, you know, I'm going to build relationships. I'm going to avoid anything that will dent the relationships. I'm going to have the gratitude. I'm going to be patient. And patience is one of them because things don't always happen when we want. Sometimes you think they're going to pay you, they don't pay you. You need to be patient. Sometimes you think we're going to make it within 2 years, it doesn't happen. It requires another 10 years waiting period. Sometimes you burn your fingers. I mean, there's a business deal where I ended up owing R1 million and it was just bad, but we resolved it at some point. But that's how life is, you know. And uh, successful people always see the best side of a situation. When you complain that there's a corona, they're busy manufacturing the mask and they're selling them, making trillions of rands within that space. When COVID-19 comes to an end, they're billionaires. So successful people always see the bright side of things. They don't complain all the time. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But I hope I've at least shared some habits. Thank you. I'm not sure, should I take a question from the chat box?
Yes, we can also take questions from the chats.
Okay, if there's anyone want to ask also, they can ask. Is it possible for someone who never did accounting? Accountants did not do accounting. I think if you've got maths and English, you can push your way through. Accounting is never compulsory.
In the chat that it's sometimes helpful to work with others.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurs
Yes.
often work on their own, but I can just share with you also an experience that I've started my own businesses, and I was not as successful as now, where I've joined good at one thing, but you were saying like the documentation, the paperwork, the emails, answering all those things. Maybe that's not my strength, but it's someone else's strength. So complementing each other, working together in teams is also a good strategy.
So,
you always have to be an entrepreneur, and one that you can bounce ideas off. You can also come to that. Yeah, TJ?
Yeah. No, as I'm saying that maybe you're the prophet, maybe a prophet. Because I'm not sure.
You have to be good at and spend a lot of time in.
I do have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Over to you.
Okay, so the question is directed mostly to most of the people that have started businesses, more especially in the rural areas. So one thing that concerns me the most or a lot is that you identify a business and then you start it. You employ or partner up with a person to assist in bridging the skill gap in order to make something out of that business. And as soon as they learn how the entire business operates, they become your direct competition. If it's not that, also people around you start the very same business after you have initiated it. And sometimes it can be quite stressful or even difficult to push a business that you're passionate about when everyone around you is doing it and they are your direct competition. What can you advise with regards to a situation like that when a person wants to start off their own business?
Sure. Yeah. Look, unfortunately, we're living in a democratic country, and everyone is allowed to do what they want. And number one, there's a legal way of resolving this where we've got people signing up the non-disclosure agreements, restraint of trade, and all those things, which does not always work as well. Then the other side of it is just to be smart around it. For instance, in my other third business, I'm trying to sell your basic detergents like your floor cleaner and all those things. But so I had a chance to buy and sell as they were, meaning from the manufacturer with the sticker that says they are manufactured by this manufacturer. But I saw this problem coming up, exactly what you're saying, that, I might sell these products, it has the manufacturer's number there, then you have the customers calling him directly and even reselling the products. So that now speaks to risk management, where you need to sit and assess your risk. What is my high risk and how do you mitigate this risk? So in my case, I had to request a special packaging, which will have my contact details and my brand name. So I'm selling you the product, but you don't know where it comes from unless I disclose to someone else. And unfortunately, that is especially when it's not a specialized type of a business. It happens a lot on the buy and sell goods type of a business, because once they know your suppliers, they just buy and all that. And the supplier only they need this money as well. So legal way of doing it, which might be expensive for small businesses as well, especially the startups. But risk management is to sit and say what can go wrong. Okay. I'm hiring a person. Okay, fine. Maybe in a whole business where there is cycles of business, you've got sales, you've got marketing, you've got production, you've got accounting and all that. Let me not expose them maybe into all the areas. I think we used to call it segregation of duties. And then you make sure that they master just that one part. So even if they leave, I mean, they don't know how to, place an order, they just know how to transport it, logistics wise. So I might not be the best person to do a full risk assessment for your area and for your business, but I think I'm giving you that assignment to say there's risk everywhere. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was trying to get a tenant as well into the other apartment. And, I just had a feeling that this is a dodgy guy. I requested his ID and I had to send it somewhere for them to screen him. And within a few minutes, they were like, this guy is a drug suspect and shoplifting suspect, whatever. But there's no amount of interview that I would have done, because he knows what questions to answer. And I wouldn't have detected that he has done that in the past. So there's risk everywhere. And I think it also calls you to not be desperate, because if I'm desperate to having the tenant moving into the property, then I'm going to just take the money and all that and sign, and I don't care if I'm accommodating a thug or not. Best, I think, was doing the same thing, renting a house there. But the landlord did not care who is best. They just accommodated him. So it speaks to legal way, which can be preventative, and the risk assessment and management part of business. Thanks. Thank you. Next question, if there is.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, Lugendo, you can go on.
I wanted to ask, what do you think about cash businesses, number one? And number two is, since we spoke about more on ethics, how does one young person that's currently maybe doing bookkeeping, if I can put it like that, report any misconduct of some sort within the business from the senior employees?
What do you mean by the cash business?
What do you think about the cash business? That's the first question.
Yeah, but what is the cash business? Are you saying the business that sells on cash basis, or it's a SPV type of G4 services business? What do you mean?
Let me say a restaurant, some sort, a cafe, basically.
Oh, where you take cash every day?
Yeah, where you take cash every day, yes.
Okay, now I understand you. I don't see much of a difference, because at the end of the day, it's sales. It's gonna go into your bank, and it needs to cover your costs. Whether it came through cash, it came into my account, basic rules apply. And then after all, I need to pay my employees. I need to pay my rent. But there is a room for manipulation, I think, where most people there, they don't declare their cash, and they still use it in the business. Number two, it also depends on the area where you operate in. In the township area, especially in Cape Town, you've got what they call protection fee, where the small businesses are paying something to the gangsters, otherwise they get mugged or robbed. So there's high risk on cash business, very high risk, very high risk. And it calls you for other services where you're going to have cash collection services, all right, at your business. So that's it. If you take away the risk part of it, it's a normal business. But yeah, and also it's not only the risk of crime, but it's also the risk of cash misappropriation from your employees. So wherever there's cash, there is a motivation for fraud, because I see it, I see cash, and then I don't have cash. There's that motivation for fraud. All right.
All right, TJ. I
And
think because of time, sorry to cut you there. Because I see there's a lot of questions coming on the chat box, as well as some hands that are not attended. Maybe perhaps where can they get hold of you if there's certain questions that they need you to clarify?
All right. I'm going to try to just share, if it's fine, just my details on the chat box. Is that okay?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. That's my work email. And all the best. Let me see. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TJ, for sharing that. Also, guys, just to note, please make sure that when you leave, you have completed the attendance register. So this is very, very important and compulsory, so that we can also get your feedback and know that you indeed attended the session. And I'd just like to thank our guest speaker for really, really sharing that insightful information with us. Thank you so much, TJ. I appreciate your time and your presence being here. Thank you so much. And everyone else, as highlighted, please make sure that you complete the register. I have just shared the link again via the chat. And thank you so much for joining. Until we meet again on our next Think Tank Thursday session. Bye, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.